Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tera Vanachari. Jamuna Tera Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Jaya Sri Radha Radha Panchatattva Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Nitai Gare Ba Hare Ba Hare Ba Ba Hare Ba Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astotha Tatasi Srimad Divine Grace ISKCON Faridabad Srila Abhajana Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Papa Maharaja Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astotha Tatasi Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Papa Maharaja Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavena Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Pram Sikahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gatadhara Sivasari Segara Bhaktavena Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Mayapadam Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Sri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Sri Jagannath Puri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktavina Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Our glories to the Sama devotees, our glories to the Sama devotees, our glories to the Sama devotees, our glories, all glories to the Gauranga Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottama Devim Saraswati Vyatsat Tato Jaya Mudirayat Nasta Payesa Bhadesu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistiki. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 14, text. Text 3-0. Okay. Ititi sat kritastena Dvija pandita manina Bhagnayan bhavya yakshnayam Tasme vidura chukrudhu Itite sat kristatena Dvija pandita manina Bhagnayan bhavya yakshnayam Tasme vidura chukrudhu Itite sat kritastena Dvija pandita manina Bhagnayam bhavya yakshnayam Tasme vidura chukrudu. Can someone try? Anyone else to try? Any of the males to try?
Bhagnayam bhavyayachayam Tasmai vidur chakruto.
Any Mataji's? Nobody's there. All right. Okay, so for word translation and translation by His Divine Grace is compounded. Charles A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All right. Iti does. Te. All the great sages. Asat Kritaha. Been insulted. Tena. By the king. Dvijaha. The Brahmanas. Panditamanina. Thinking himself to be very learned. Bhagnayam. Being broken. Bhavya. Auspicious. Yashnayam. Their request. Tasme. At him. Vidura. Oh Vidura. Chukrudu. Became very angry. Translation, my dear Vidura, all good fortune unto you. The foolish king, who thought himself very learned, thus insulted the great sages. And the sages, being broken-hearted by the king's words, became very angry at him. Please kindly respond. Repeat. My dear Vidura, all good fortune unto you. The foolish king, who thought himself very learned, thus insulted the great sages. And the sages, being broken-hearted by the king's words, became very angry at him. The sages become angry at somebody, means his life is finished. Okay, so we'll go to text 31. Hanyatam esha papak prakriti darunaha jiva jagataso vasu kurute basmasa dhruvam. Is it on the board here? Is there?
Yes, sir.
So what do? You want to repeat?
No, we have repeated.
Okay.
Whatever you like.
No, whatever I like. What is your standard? We follow your standard.
Yeah,
You
one
follow?
word repeat.
Okay. So, translation, all the great saintly sages, immediately cried, kill him, kill him. Oh my God, Venus in trouble. He is the most dreadful, sinful person. If he leaves, he will certainly turn the whole world into ashes in no time. This is nature of some of the rulers present the world.
तो ये आजकल के कुछ जो नेता हैं उनका वर्णन हो रहा है यहाँ पे.
But there are no sages to say, kill him, kill him.
पर यहाँ पे कोई साधु नहीं है यहाँ पे उनको बोलने के लिए कि इनको मार दो मार दो मार दो.
We have other envious people who want to take that position and they assassinate him.
उसकी जगह क्या है, अभी दूसरे ईर्ष्यालु लोग हैं उसका वध कर देते हैं और खुद उनकी गद्दी ले लेते हैं.
That is why assassination is very rampant in developing countries.
तो इसलिए जो वध करना किसी को मार देना राजगद्दी के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा प्रचलन में है अभी.
People are not satisfied with the ruler, so somebody says, all right, I'll sacrifice my life. I'll kill him, and if at least let him get out from the place, and then I'm ready. If you like, kill me.
इसलिए देखते हैं कि कोई जो विकासशील देश हैं तो उसमें वो कोई नेता उनको अच्छा नहीं लगता तो ठीक है इसको मार दो, फिर उसी मैं आता हूँ तो मैं आपकी सारी इच्छाएं पूरी करूँगा.
So let's listen to Prabhupada's purport. Saintly persons are generally very kind to all kinds of living entities, but they are not unhappy when a serpent or a scorpion is killed. It is not good for saintly persons to kill, but they are encouraged to kill demons who are exactly like serpents and scorpions. Therefore, all the saintly persons, or therefore all the saintly sages decided to kill King Vena, who was so dreadful and dangerous to all human society. We can appreciate the extent to which the saintly sages actually control the king. If the king or government becomes demonic, it is the duty of a saintly person to upset the government and replace it with deserving persons who follow the orders and instructions of saintly persons.
अनुवाद और तात्पर्य इस श्लोक का इस प्रकार है. सभी ऋषि तुरंत हाहाकार करने लगे, इसे मार डालो, इसे मार डालो, यह अत्यंत भयावह और पापी पुरुष है. यदि यह जीवित रहा तो निश्चित रूप से सारे संसार को देखते देखते भस्म कर देगा. तात्पर्य, साधु पुरुष सामान्यतः सभी जीवात्माओं के प्रति अत्यंत दयालु होते हैं, किंतु यदि कोई सर्प या बिच्छू मार दिया जाए तो वे दुखी नहीं होते. साधु पुरुषों के लिए वध करना ठीक नहीं, किंतु असुरों का वध करने हेतु प्रोत्साहित होते रहते हैं क्योंकि वे सर्पों तथा बिच्छुओं के समान होते हैं. अतः सब ऋषियों ने निश्चय किया कि राजा वेन का वध कर दिया जाए, जो मानव समाज के लिए इतना भयावह था. जिस सीमा तक ऋषियों ने राजा को वास्तव में वश में करना चाहा, उसकी प्रशंसा की जानी चाहिए. यदि कोई राजा या सरकार आसुरी हो जाए तो साधु पुरुष का कर्तव्य है कि सरकार को पलटकर उसके स्थान पर ऐसे योग्य व्यक्तियों को आसीन कराए जो साधु पुरुषों की आज्ञाओं एवं उपदेशों का पालन कर सके.
Vandeham Sri Gurum, Sri Topadakamalam Sri Gurun, Vaishnavam Cha, Sri Rupam Sagujatam, Sahagana Ragunatam, Vitamtam Sajeva, Sadveta Sadvaduta, Parijana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Sri Radha Krishna, Pada, Sahagana Lalita, Vishakam Vitamcha. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dena Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namaste, Tapta Kanchana Gourange, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vishwa Banu Sute Devi, Pranamami Haripriya. Vanchakalpataribhyacha, Kripasambhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo, Namo Namaha. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda Sahodata, Vadadai Puspavantu Chita Sadatamona. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Sagora Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, this text is very relevant to the theme of the chapter, the story of King Vena. So here we find how the sages were very displeased with King Vena's impersonation of the Lord. Impersonation of the Lord amounts to offenses, blasphemy, insults. Because conditioned souls cannot impersonate the Lord. Even ordinarily speaking, if you impersonate a policeman, it's a crime.
तो यहाँ पे ब्राह्मण यहाँ पे अप्रसन्न है, क्यों? क्योंकि राजा वेन ये भगवान का अतिक्रमण कर रहा था, उनके अपमान कर रहा था, उनके प्रति अपराध कर रहा था। तो साधारण रूप से अगर हम किसी पुलिस के भी प्रति उनका अतिक्रमण करते हैं तो हमको दंडित किया जाता है।
If you impersonate a doctor, medical doctor, for instance, you start practicing medicine, you start prescribing medicines for people, you start injecting people, you start operating eyes, you'll be arrested. It's a crime. Impersonation is a crime. And impersonating the Lord is very grave. And so this angered the sages.
तो देखो, किसी डॉक्टर का भी अगर आप खुद ही इलाज करना चालू कर देते हो, आप अपनी मन मर्जी की दवाई ले देना लोगों को चालू कर देते हो और ऑपरेशन करना चालू कर देते हो, तो फिर ये भी एक अपराध है, इसके लिए आपको दंडित किया जाएगा।
And so, even in material sense, what King Vena was doing, or what King Vena did, that really upset the saintly persons. What he did, King Vena did, was very, very inappropriate and very wrong.
तो इसलिए उनका ब्राह्मणों का गुस्सा उनके ऊपर रोष प्रकट हुआ, इसलिए जो वेन ने किया वो काफ़ी गलत था। वो भगवान का अतिक्रमण करना वो काफ़ी गलत था और अनैतिक था।
So the offense was so glaring, it was just too open for people to just pretend as if they didn't see, turn back. No. People don't insult the Lord and the sages or the devotees turn back as if they didn't see it. As if they didn't see, they turn back like this. No. Therefore, the saintly persons who cursed King Vena, who became angry at King Vena, they were doing the right thing.
तो ऐसा नहीं कि कोई भगवान की निंदा कर रहा है या कुछ बोल रहा है भगवान के विरुद्ध तो हम पीठ मोड़ के उधर देखने लग जाए कि हमने कुछ ऐसे कुछ सुना ही नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। तो यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं कि राजा वेन ने जब भगवान के प्रति अपशब्द कहे तो उनको बहुत गुस्सा आया और उन्होंने ब्राह्मणों ने जो किया वो वास्तव में उचित था।
So, these two texts, text 30 and 31, these two texts have been narrated. It's in the narrative of Maitreya Rishi to Vidura. So he was recalling what transpired between King Vena. Maitreya Rishi was recalling what transpired between King Vena and the sages.
तो ये जो संवाद है ये मैत्रेय ऋषि और विदुर के बीच में हो रहा है। तो मैत्रेय ऋषि विदुर को बता रहे हैं कि उस राजा वेन के और उन ऋषियों के बीच में क्या वार्तालाप हुई और क्या हुआ, ये दोनों आपस में संवाद कर रहे हैं।
So the Bhagavatam is like that. We have somebody recalling or narrating an event which had taken place thousands of years ago.
भागवतम ऐसे ही है कि एक वक्ता दूसरे श्रोता को बताता है किसी घटना के बारे में जो कई हजारों सहस्त्रों वर्षों पूर्व घटित हुई हो।
And so the narratives of the Bhagavatam, they are real events. They are not mythology as some Westerners, Western scholars term it to be. And this very horrible offense is also being imbibed by some people in the Indian subcontinent. They refer these narratives as mythology, and maybe they don't understand the term mythology, but it is a very grave offense.
तो इसी तरह ये जो सारे इतिहास की जो घटनाएं हैं ये वास्तविक है, सत्य है, ये कोई काल्पनिक नहीं है, वो कोई मिथ्या कहानियां नहीं है। तो अभी पूरे विश्व में पाश्चात्य जगत के जो दार्शनिक हैं, जो विद्वान हैं तथाकथित, वो इसको माइथोलॉजी बताते हैं या मिथ्या बताते हैं। तो ये बहुत बड़ा अपराध है, ये भगवान के प्रति, भगवान के वचनों के प्रति ये बहुत बड़ा अपराध है।
See, even in ordinary literature, you find novels all over the place. But there are two major types of novels. One is a fiction, and one is a real life event.
तो आप नॉवल भी पढ़ते हो, कोई कहानियों के कोई ग्रंथ ऐसे बाहरी पुस्तक भी पढ़ते हो, तो उसमें दो तरह के होते हैं। एक तो उसमें काल्पनिक कहानियां होती है और एक उसमें सत्य घटनाओं पर आधारित कोई पुस्तक होती है।
And so the Bhagavatam, the historiography of the Bhagavatam is real life events.
तो ये भागवतम में जो घटनाक्रम है वो कोई काल्पनिक नहीं है, वो पूरी की पूरी सच्ची घटनाओं पर आधारित है।
Namisaraya is there. Kurukshetra is there, right behind near Vrindavan there. And for someone to say this is a fiction is so offensive.
तो कुरुक्षेत्र यहीं पे है हरियाणा में, और नैमिषारण्य भी है और वृंदावन भी है, तो कोई कहे कि ये सब काल्पनिक है, कपोल कल्पना है, तो बहुत बड़ा अपराध है।
So the information we are getting here is very relevant to our everyday reality. Someone is in position of power. Someone is in position of power. It's so easy to abuse that power and that position.
तो ये बहुत ही प्रासंगिक विषय चल रहा है अभी। तो कोई भी व्यक्ति जब पद पे होता है, किसी भी भौतिक पद पे होता है, तो उसके लिए बहुत आसान है अपने पद का दुरुपयोग करना।
And the abuse in modern days, it could happen in different ways.
और ये दुरुपयोग कई तरीकों से हो सकता है इस आधुनिक युग में।
And in the days of yore, in the Vedic civilization, we'll find people abuse their power. Hiranyakasipu abuse his power. We were reading the other day about a particular king, what's his name, who sent a message to Krishna, said, "Hey, give up your weapons. You are just impersonating me, huh? Give up your weapons. Give up your symbols. This chakra. These are my symbols. And you, Krishna, small boy, you're imitating me." What's his name?
तो ये शक्ति का दुरुपयोग ये आज के युग में नहीं, सदियों पुराना चला आ रहा है। तो हम देखते हैं पहले भी हिरण्यकशिपु ने अपनी शक्ति का दुरुपयोग किया था, और हम द्वापर युग में भी देखते हैं कि पौंड्रक नाम का एक व्यक्ति था, वो अपने आप को भगवान कृष्ण बताता था, और उसने कृष्ण को संदेश भेजा कि तुमने मेरे सारे जो हथियार हैं या शंख चक्र गदा पद्म वो तुमने धारण कर रखे हैं, तो तुम मेरे जो हथियार है वो मेरे को लौटाओ दोबारा।
So people like power, and power could be more intoxicating than psychedelic drug.
तो ये जो पद है वो कई बार ये नशों से भौतिक नशे से ज़्यादा भी आपको मदोन्मत्त कर सकता है।
So we find someone could be a very nice guy, and when he's given some power, some position of authority, then his real nature comes out.
इसलिए कोई भी व्यक्ति बहुत आपको सीधा साधा लगता है, लेकिन जैसे ही उसको पद मिलता है तो उसका जो वास्तविक स्वभाव है, गुण है, जो निकल के आता है।
When he's not in the position of power, he's a very nice guy, very nice guy, he relates with people very nicely. As soon as he gets the power, it's like when you take some drugs, when you take intoxication is a change enabler. It enables a change, negative change in your life. Power also enables a negative change in your life.
तो जैसे कोई व्यक्ति नशा लेता है, तो नशे से पहले कुछ और होता है और नशे के बाद उसके अंदर एक नकारात्मक परिवर्तन आता है। तो उसी तरह किसी व्यक्ति को पद मिलता है तो पद मिलने से पहले वो साधारण होता है, तो और लेकिन पद मिलने के बाद उसमें भी एक परिवर्तन आता है।
But the Raja Rishis, they use the power to enable a positive change in society.
तो राजर्षि अपने पद का दुरुपयोग, अपनी शक्तियों का उपयोग करते थे समाज में सकारात्मक परिवर्तन लाने के लिए।
So that's the difference between the Raja Rishi and Alika Chandras, false kings.
तो ये अंतर है राजर्षियों में और मिथ्या जो राजा हैं उनके बीच का।
It's like we have these two personalities. One is a Mahatma and the other is a Duratma. The Mahatma uses his or her life, adopts all of his activities in Krishna consciousness. The Duratma uses all of his skills in sense gratification.
तो दो तरह के व्यक्ति होते हैं, एक महात्मा एक दुरात्मा। तो महात्मा क्या करता है, अपनी सारी शक्तियों को, अपने सारे कौशल को भगवान के से जोड़ के रखता है, लेकिन एक दुरात्मा व्यक्ति वो सारे अपने कौशल, सारे अपने सामर्थ्य का दुरुपयोग करता है इंद्र तृप्ति के लिए।
Similarly, the demoniac king, they want to usurp the position of the Lord. They want to take the position of Krishna. They want to be the enjoyer. They want to be the repository of all powers. They want to be anything, Ishwar or Ham. I am the controller. I am Bhogi. I am the enjoyer. If you don't recognize this, like when I was making those assertions, you don't recognize me as the supreme, your life is finished.
तो जो आसुरी व्यक्ति होता है वो भगवान की स्थिति को, भगवान के जो पद है उसको भी प्राप्त करना चाहता है और वो फिर अपने आप को ईश्वर मानता है, भोगी मानता है। तो वो फिर जैसे राजा वेन के उदाहरण में हम देखते हैं, वो बोल रहा था राजा ऋषियों को कि तुम्हें पता नहीं कि मैं कौन हूँ, मैं पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान हूँ।
So we have people, when Krishna was on the planet, we have people, demons who didn't recognize the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they want to assume that position. And what was the result? They were annihilated.
तो भगवान जब पृथ्वी पर थे तो उस समय भी कई लोग थे जो भगवान कृष्ण की स्थिति लेना चाहते थे, तो अंत में क्या हुआ कि उन सब का विनाश हुआ।
So a saintly person, in contrast to a demoniac king, the saintly king, the Raja Rishi, enables all members, all of his citizens, all members of his constituency it directs their efforts towards achieving the ultimate goal of life, which is Krishna Prema Pumatoma.
तो जो राजर्षि हैं वो सारी शक्तियों का उपयोग करते हैं, सारे अपने सामर्थ्य का उपयोग करते हैं अपने लिए भी दूसरों के लिए भी, कि ये जीवन के परम लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करना। वो क्या है? प्रेम पुमार्थो महान।
The demoniac king encourages everyone, persuades everyone to worship him.
तो जो आसुरी प्रवृत्ति का जो राजा होता है वो सबको प्रोत्साहन देता है कि तुम मेरी पूजा करो, मुझे ईश्वर मानो।
So we have two paths to go.
हमारे पास दो रास्ते हैं जाने के।
Two paths. We have a choice.
तो हम लोगों के पास एक चुनाव है दो रास्तों का।
We can choose the path of the saintly path, trying to direct people to Krishna, or we can try to assume the position of Krishna. Hey, look, I'm in position, I'm in power. This, you have to worship me. You have to. We may not tell a person that he worship me, but the mentality is the same thing. We want to be the center of our activities.
तो हमारे पास दो रास्ते हैं। तो एक रास्ता ये है कि हम साधुओं के रास्ते पे चल रहे हैं जो सबको कृष्ण की सेवा में लगाएं, और दूसरा हम खुद कृष्ण बने, दूसरे से बोले कि आप मेरी पूजा करो। हो सकता है हम प्रत्यक्ष रूप से ना बोलें, लेकिन हमारे अंदर यही भावना रहती है कि मैं कैसे हम सारी गतिविधियों का केंद्र मैं खुद बनूं।
Therefore, we find this even in the families. The parents think that they are the Ishwaras or the Ishwaris. The parents, this is so common. They over control. Even a child of a man of 35 years old is been the parents trying to control him.
तो अभी आजकल के परिवारों में यही हो रहा है कि जो अभिभावक है, जो माता पिता हैं, वो कंट्रोलर बनना चाहते हैं, ईश्वर बनना चाहते हैं। वो अपने बच्चों को बहुत आवश्यकता से अधिक नियंत्रण में रखना चाहते हैं। हो सकता है कि वो 25 साल की हो गई, लेकिन फिर भी उसके माता पिता उसको नियंत्रण में रखना चाहते हैं।
This is the Ishwaroham mentality. I am the controller.
तो ये जो भाव है वो है ईश्वर भाव, जो अपने आप को नियंता मानने का।
So the Ishwara Bhav is Asura Bhav.
तो ये ईश्वरी भाव है, अपने आप को ईश्वर मानने का, ये वास्तव में आसुरी है।
We don't mean that people should not be controlled, but you try to control your child, 35 years old, you still making efforts to control them. That is Asura Bhav.
That should be.
That is Asura Bhav. Demoniac mentality.
Even 5 kids.
35 years old. 35, I'm talking about 35 years old. So I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Even in India, I've seen it. A lady came to me one time in Delhi. I went to one of my friends' Bhakti Vasudeva program. And this lady, after the program, she came to me to complain about the son. Son at the time was 35 years old.
तो ये भाव 35 साल के अपने पुत्र को भी वो नियंत्रण में रखना चाहते हैं। तो महाराज बता रहे हैं, मेरे भक्ति वृक्ष प्रोग्राम में कोई महिला आई और वो कहते हैं कि महाराज ये मेरी बात नहीं सुनता। तो उसका पुत्र जो था वो उस समय 35 वर्ष का था।
She said the son stopped talking to her for months. They live in the same house, but the boy won't talk to her.
तो वो दोनों एक ही घर में रहते, लेकिन महीनों से उनके बीच में बात नहीं हुई थी।
So she was feeling very bad.
उनको बहुत बुरा लग रहा था उनकी माँ को।
So she met me after the program to complain, hoping that, she has seen the Swami to complain to him, and then we just order the boy to come here and say, hey, come on, why don't you worship your mother? But no, I know what is going on, and everybody has a right. At a particular time, particular stage of your life, you have your independence, and no one should force themselves on you. But then this lady, she described everything else, and instead of, she was expecting I was going to be by her side and, say some sweet things. And so I said, Mataji, see, when you go back home, go and beg your son. You cross your boundaries. You cross your boundaries.
तो वो माता जी इनके पास आई शिकायत लेके, काफ़ी कुछ बोला उन्होंने। तो उनको ये लग रहा था कि वो महाराज मेरी तरफदारी करेंगे और बोलेंगे पुत्र को कि जाओ, अरे तुम उनकी पूजा क्यों नहीं करते, तुम उनकी सेवा क्यों नहीं करते, तुम उनसे बात क्यों नहीं करते। तो महाराज ने उनको बोला कि देखो, अब तुम घर पे जाके ना अपने पुत्र से माफ़ी मांगना और ये कहना कि मैंने अपनी मर्यादाएं तोड़ी हैं।
So a traditional Indian woman, that is a very difficult task.
कोई जो पारंपरिक जो महिला होगी, भारतीय महिला, उसके लिए बहुत मुश्किल है।
But after saying that, I left. After telling her that, I left.
तो मैंने उसको बता के मैं वहाँ से चला गया।
So I think after a year, now my friend, I was in India, I was in the Delhi area, and then he again invited me for his Bhakti Vasudeva program. And after the program, a lady came to me, elderly lady came to me and was thanking me. So I told her, I don't know you, what did I do, what happened? She explained that, she met me a year ago about complaining about her son, and this is what I told her. It was difficult for her, but she was courageous. She followed up with that instruction, and now they are very friendly and lovingly together.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि वो 1 साल बाद वो आते हैं दिल्ली में किसी भक्ति वृक्ष के प्रोग्राम में। वहाँ पे उन महिला से मुलाकात होती है। वो महिला बताती हैं कि मैं बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूँ कि आपके इस सलाह से मेरा पुत्र मुझसे बात कर रहा है। तो महाराज ने पूछा कि मैं तो आपको जानता नहीं हूँ, कैसे? तो माता जी ने बताया कि आपने 1 साल पहले मुझको बोला था ऐसा ऐसा करने के लिए, तो थोड़ा हिम्मत जुटा के मैंने आपके आदेशों का पालन किया और अब वो मेरा पुत्र मुझसे बहुत मित्रवत रहता है।
So we could think that when How is he acting like this? He's assuming the position of the Lord. But we also act like that. We may not say, I'm Krishna, I'm the Supreme Person of God, but it's the same Ishvara above. We try to over-control. There's no problem with controlling people, but we try to over-control people. That becomes, they could create a significant drift or a significant rift in relationships.
तो हम बोल सकते हैं वेन ने देखो ये भगवान मान रहा है, ये अपने आप को भगवान को नकार रहा है, बट हम भी कहीं ना कहीं अपने अंदर ईश्वरी भाव को पाले बैठे हैं. तो नियंत्रण करना तो ठीक है, लेकिन जरूरत से ज़्यादा नियंत्रण करना कई बार आपके संबंधों को दूरी पर दे सकता है.
And this is a big problem in the whole world because Ishvara Bhav is a big problem. And we may not impersonate the Lord directly, but it's the same impersonation. We want to assume the position of the Supreme Controller.
तो ये पूरे विश्व में ही समस्या है ईश्वर भाव की. लोग ईश्वर बनना चाहते हैं, स्थूल रूप से भले ही ना बनना चाहते हो, लेकिन अंदर वही चीज़ है कि इस चीज़ों को मेरे को परम नियंता बनना है.
Well, King Vena's case was very gross. Our own case may be subtle.
तो वेन का जो उदाहरण है, वेन का जो दृष्टांत है, वो बहुत स्थूल रूप से है, लेकिन हमारे जीवन में कई बार ये सूक्ष्म रूप से भी प्रवेश करता है.
So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that certainly persons are traditionally non-violent, but if a scorpion or a serpent is killed, a snake is killed, for instance, certainly person is happy about it.
तो इस प्रभुपाद जी इस तात्पर्य में कह रहे हैं कि साधु पुरुष सामान्यतया अहिंसक होता है, उदार होता है, लेकिन जब किसी सांप या किसी बिच्छू की हत्या की जाती है तो साधु पुरुष भी प्रसन्न होते हैं.
And this very ideology is also reflected in the life of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. He was very non-violent, but you know, if a snake comes by, he will encourage his disciples to get rid of the snake, pull him away, chase him away, or whatever.
तो भक्ति सरस्वती महाराज के जीवन में भी आता है कि वो बहुत साधु स्वभाव के हैं, लेकिन जैसे ही कोई सांप आता था तो अपने शिष्य को कहते थे कि इसको भगाओ, इसको या फिर इसको मार डालो.
And so, yeah, the saintly persons, saintly sages, they're very meek, very humble, very compassionate. But they know that a snake is a snake. You cannot change a snake.
तो साधु पुरुष दयालु होते हैं, सहिष्णु होते हैं, कृपालु होते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी सांप फिर भी सांप है. आप किसी सर्प को नहीं बदल सकते हो.
A snake has no friend.
एक सांप का कोई मित्र नहीं होता.
Well, we may argue, but there are snake charmers that can charm a snake, and the snake can be used for magic or for play. But, like you rightly put, that is due to some external influence. But naturally, a snake cannot be a friend.
तो आप ही कह सकते हो कि भाई सपोले होते हैं, वो तो सांप को बीन बजा के वश में करते हैं और उनके साथ सांप कई जादू के खेल भी दिखाते हैं. बट ये बाहरी तौर पे हो सकता है, लेकिन एक सामने देखा जाए तो सांप का कोई मित्र नहीं होता.
So also a demoniac king is compared to a scorpion or a serpent.
तो जो इसी तरह आसुरी जो राजा है, आसुरी स्वभाव का राजा, उसकी तुलना एक बिच्छू या फिर सर्प से की गई है.
A scorpion and a serpent, they are not, I repeat, a serpent and a scorpion, they are not people oriented.
तो
they are not people oriented.
जो सांप है और बिच्छू है, वो व्यक्ति विशेष के प्रति वो उनका भाव नहीं होता.
Serpents and scorpions don't align with ethical values.
सांप और बिच्छू वो नैतिक मूल्यों को नहीं मानते.
So we see the case of King Vena here.
तो हम ये राजा वेन के उदाहरण में देख सकते हैं.
his thoughts and ideas did not align with scriptural injunctions.
तो इनके विचार और उनकी जो इच्छाएं हैं वो शास्त्रों में वर्णित आदेशों से मेल नहीं खाती है.
And because of his impersonation of the Lord, the sages, saintly sages, were angry and decided to take away his life.
तो राजा वेन के इस अतिक्रमण से, भगवान के अतिक्रमण से के कारण वहाँ के ऋषियों ने और साधुओं ने ये निर्णय लिया कि उनका वध किया जाना चाहिए, राजा वेन का.
So we'll find also in the case of Ramahasana, is that? Yeah. Yeah, when Balaram went into the assembly, yeah, I said when Balaram went in, he exhibited some type of offensive behavior, offended the Lord. He was too much into rules and regulations. He was too much, Ramahasana was too much into rules and regulations. So he didn't get up.
Okay.
Because it is mentioned that when you're sitting on the other side, you're not supposed to get up. Yeah. But that is the Lord is the Supreme Lord, and He is the source of the asana. The asana is meant for worshipping the Lord. Asana is meant for discourses about the Lord and His devotees. So the object of your discourse comes in, the object of your worship comes in, you have to get up.
तो दूसरा उदाहरण ये रोमहर्षण सूत्र का भी आता है कि वो बलराम जी स्वयं है लेकिन वो खड़े नहीं हुए, वो बहुत ज़्यादा नियमों में बंधे हुए थे. वो क्या नियम था कि कोई अगर व्यासासन पे बैठा हुआ है तो उसको खड़े नहीं होना चाहिए. लेकिन व्यासासन का मतलब यही है कि आप कृष्ण के गुणगान के लिए वहाँ पे बैठे हुए, भगवान की लीलाओं के बारे में चर्चा करने के लिए वहाँ बैठे हुए और भगवान की पूजा करने के लिए वहाँ पे बैठे हो. तो आपकी जो पूजा के विषय वस्तु है वही आपके सामने है और फिर भी आप खड़े नहीं हो रहे, तो ये तो बहुत ही बड़ा मर्यादा व्यतिक्रमण है.
And so we are trying to be devotees. We have to be careful not to be overly attached to the rules and regulations. We have to understand what are the rules and regulations supposed to be satisfying, and we have to act accordingly.
तो हम भी भक्ति में हैं तो हमें भी ये समझना चाहिए सिर्फ नियमों से आसक्त ना हो, तो नियमों की संतुष्टि कैसे होगी, किसमें है, तो उसको हमें ध्यान रखना चाहिए.
So Ramahasana was killed by Balaram. Of course, we may say, well, he got liberated by Balaram, so what? We may say, well, Ramahasana got liberated by Balaram, so what? Yeah, because he was offensive. Offensive, demoniac mentality.
तो कह सकते हैं बलराम जी ने मार दिया उनको, मतलब रोमहर्षण सूत्र को, तो वो आपराधिक भावना थी उनके अंदर रोमहर्षण सूत्र में.
We have to be careful how we go about executing our duties, whether we are given a big position or we are having a small position. The tendency to over control is always there.
तो हमें कोई भी सेवा मिलती है, कोई बड़ा पद मिलता है, छोटा पद मिलता है, लेकिन सब जगह हमारी एक वृत्ति रहती है कि हम जरूरत से ज़्यादा लोगों पे, चीज़ों पे, वस्तुओं पे नियंत्रण करना चाहते हैं.
So let us avoid the Vena Bhava.
तो ये वेन भाव है.
Any comments or questions?
कोई प्रश्न या कोई टिप्पणी है वो कर सकते हैं.
Yes, Mataji. Can you give out the microphone?
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for wonderful lecture. Well, my question is that in relationships one should not become controller, but at the same time the propensity is for persons become indifferent when there's no control or they become indifferent in relationships. How to avoid that?
What is the question?
Mataji is saying that you told that we should not be, we should not be controller in any relationship.
No, not controlling. Over
Over-controller. So that's opposite
control
that,
has to be there.
but not over-controller. But opposite situation is that we become indifferent in any relationship. So how to avoid that situation?
Indifference, what does that mean?
Indifference means people, they don't bother about other persons.
They are not bothered about their suffering, so they become indifferent.
Oh,
That.
that's very bad. That's very bad, because it means the person has no emotional intelligence.
उसका मतलब ये है कि उसके अंदर कोई भावनात्मक बुद्धि है ही नहीं.
That's very bad in relationships.
ये बहुत ही बुरा संबंधों के बीच में है.
Very bad in community or family development, community development. Very bad. Very bad in every aspect of life.
तो ये बहुत बुरा एक पहलू है अगर आपको किसी समुदाय को बनाना है या किसी परिवार को बना के रखना है तो.
In fact, someone who is suffering from that type of psychological, it's called maladjustment. He should go for a therapy.
तो अगर ऐसा कोई भाव है तो आपको चिकित्सा के लिए जाना चाहिए.
There are a lot of mental health cases that people need some help, but in most cases people don't really understand that they have a problem. That is the real main problem. When you have a problem and you don't seem to understand that you have a problem, that is greater than even the problem you have.
तो कई मानसिक रोगी ऐसे होते हैं तो उनको लगता है कि ये समस्या है, लेकिन वो फिर भी वो अपने आप को कहते हैं कि मुझे कोई समस्या नहीं. तो सबसे बड़ी समस्या यही है कि हम जब तक हमें पता नहीं लगता कि हमें कोई समस्या है, ये उससे ज़्यादा बड़ी समस्या बन जाती है, उस रोग से ज़्यादा.
So you can't be in a relationship and you're carefree. No, it doesn't work like that.
तो ऐसा नहीं कि आपके संबंध में आप गैर जिम्मेदार हो जाओगे.
I mean, it's like, some time ago I asked somebody, how many rounds is your wife chanting? Because the wife was aspiring for me to take initiation from me. So I asked the husband, how many rounds is your wife chanting? She said, Maharaj, I don't know. I said, what?
तो कई बार महाराज बता रहे हैं कि जो पति पत्नी है, पति की दीक्षा हो चुकी है, वो पत्नी की दीक्षा दिलाना चाहते हैं. तो महाराज पति से पूछते हैं कि आपकी पत्नी कितनी माला करती है. तो पति कहता है कि मुझे नहीं पता. कह रहे क्या आपको पता ही नहीं आपकी पत्नी कितनी माला करती है?
It means you're not loving, you're not friendly with your spouse. Otherwise you should know what they are doing.
तो इसका मतलब है कि आप अपनी पत्नी के प्रति मित्रतापूर्वक व्यवहार नहीं करते और प्रेम पूर्वक व्यवहार नहीं करते. तो क्या है आप दोनों के बीच में फिर संबंध?
But I could understand also that he doesn't want to encroach on her life or her activities, so that he doesn't seem to be exhibiting a sense of control. But no, we have to be caring for somebody, friendly and loving, that we have to share what we're passing through and be able to also listen to the advice of the other person. Otherwise, why be in a relationship?
तो ऐसा नहीं कि हमको नियंत्रण करना, बट एक सहानुभूति होनी चाहिए, एक सुरक्षा का भाव होना चाहिए उनके प्रति, जिम्मेदारी का भाव होना चाहिए कि ताकि आप दूसरों के जो विचार है उनको सुन सको. अदर नहीं तो फिर क्या फायदा ऐसे संबंधों में?
So a lukewarm attitude towards a partner or a partner's activities, or on not being able to give emotional support, is a bad symptom of a decaying relationship.
तो ये जो भाव है कि आप अपने अपने सहयोगी के प्रति या अपने पार्टनर के प्रति अगर आप आपका व्यवहार अच्छा नहीं है, आप संवेदनशील नहीं हो, तो ये रिश्ता धीरे धीरे विकृत रूप ले लेगा आगे जाके.
Relationships entails sharing and caring, and it means that sharing and caring of even confidential matters.
तो संबंध का मतलब है एक दूसरे से सब चीज़ों को साझा करना और एक दूसरे की देखभाल करना. तो इसी से संबंधों का निर्माण होता है.
It also involves providing time for quality relationship, quality interaction. Some people can be so busy, they make billions of dollars at the end of the month, and they're not able to provide quality time to their spouse. What is the need of the relationship?
तो ऐसे भी होता है कि अगर आपको संबंधों को अच्छा रखना है तो आपको मूल्यवान समय देना पड़ेगा. अपने संबंधों को बनाने के लिए, अपनी पत्नी के लिए आपको समय देना पड़ेगा. तो कई लोग हैं ऐसे जो लाखों करोड़ रुपए कमाते हैं, लेकिन वो अपने संबंधों में कोई समय का निवेश ही नहीं करते.
And I know these things, they go on in relationships, and so like I ask my friends a lot about these things. I remember the other day I was at a program, and incidentally one of my friends was also there with his wife. He's a medical doctor. So then after the programs, I was going around talking with the people one-to-one. So I saw the wife. So I said, I'm after this such and such. So my friend is taking good care of you? She said, Maharaj, no.
तो बता रहे हैं कि मैं कहीं अपने मित्रों से पूछता रहता, मिलता रहता. तो एक प्रोग्राम में गया तो मेरे मित्र हैं, उसकी पत्नी आई. तो उनकी पत्नी से महाराज ने पूछा कि क्या मेरा मित्र आपका सही ध्यान रखता है? कह रहा महाराज नहीं.
So I said, tell me, what's the problem?
बताओ क्या समस्या है?
She said, he's not giving me time.
मुझे समय ही नहीं देता.
A spouse needs your quality time.
पति या पत्नी है तो उसको आपस में कोई अच्छा समय व्यतीत करना होता है.
But these things are very rampant, even in our society. It's very common in our society.
तो हमारे समाज में, समुदाय में भी ये चीज़ बहुत ही सामान्य है कि आपस में कोई अच्छा समय व्यतीत नहीं करते.
So I went back, I met the husband, and I said, see, your wife just complained to me about you. Do you want to hear the complaint? He said yes.
तो वो अपने फिर मित्र के पास गए, बोला कि देखो तुम्हारी पत्नी ऐसी शिकायत कर रही थी, तो क्या तुम अपने वो शिकायत सुनना चाहते हो? उसने बोला हाँ.
So I said, your wife said you're not giving her quality time. You're not giving her quality time. You're not being present. You're not making yourself available. Yes, you're so busy serving your Guru Maharaj, so busy with your professional development, your job. But why have a wife? If you're so busy doing all these other things, why you need a wife if you cannot even give her quality time? Why you keep one in the house?
तो आप इतने बिजी हैं कि वो बिजी हैं, अपने व्यस्त हैं अपने गुरु की सेवा करने में, अपने व्यवसाय में, कि आप अपने पत्नी को समय नहीं दे सकते. तो क्यों चाहिए आपको पत्नी, और घर क्यों चाहिए आपको? क्या उसका अभिप्राय है?
So I told him this is called emotional abuse in relationship.
इसको कहते हैं भावनात्मक उत्पीड़न संबंधों में.
So I spoke to him and learned, and hopefully that he changes his attitude. So that's not a good thing, Mataji, for someone to be indifferent just because they don't want to be tagged. Oh, you're over controlling or whatever. No. If we are not showing some concern, we are not being present for other person. If this is how we can deal with situations very easily. Of course, for couples who don't have like a senior person in their life, it could be a big thing because I mean, like, I'm with my friends and I ask this a lot, you know. I ask a lot. I ask this a lot. And so I remember one of my friends in Delhi, you know, the husband is a professor. And so I met them in the temple. That day I just went to Radhapada temple. And I met the two of them there in the temple hall. So immediately I asked, the husband was there, I asked her, my friend, is he taking good care of you? She said, Maharaj, for now, yes.
तो इसलिए ये किसी भी संबंधों में उदासीन होना ये बहुत बुरा है। तो महाराज बताते हैं कि मैं इस चीज़ का विशेष रूप से ध्यान रखता हूँ और मैं कई अपने मित्रों से पूछता रहता हूँ इस बारे में। तो एक बार वो दिल्ली में कोई मित्र है, वो आए किसी प्रोग्राम में महाराज, तो उन्होंने उनकी पत्नी से पूछा कि क्या मेरा मित्र आपका अच्छा ध्यान रखता है? तो माता जी ने बोला कि हाँ, अब तो ठीक से रखने लगा है।
For somebody, they are lucky, they have someone in their lives that can ask that. It's fine, but majority of people, they don't have someone in their, you know, as a friend in the family to ask. To ask, to take the position, take the time to ask the husband or the wife how they are doing with their partner. Most people, they don't have somebody who has to ask them.
तो अभी तो जैसे इस आंदोलन में लोग हैं, लेकिन ज़्यादातर लोगों के पास ऐसा कोई होता ही नहीं है जो अपनी बात कह सके। कोई पति अपने पति के बारे में किसी को बता सके या पत्नी के बारे में पति किसी को बता सकते हो, ऐसा कोई है नहीं।
So yeah, it's relationship is very demanding situation. When we marry, in management science, that is a change initiative. When we marry, that is a change initiative. We decide to take to spiritual life, that is a change initiative. We decide to go to school, that is a change initiative. We decide to change or get a new job, that is a change initiative. And to initiate a change might be very easy. To lead the change to attain its ultimate goal, that is the problem. The problem is how to lead that change, to live your life, to be able to fulfill the objectives of that change initiative.
तो हर एक चीज़ में आपको एक परिवर्तन के लिए आपको एक पहल करनी पड़ेगी, चाहे वो आपको स्कूल जाना हो या आपको दीक्षा लेनी हो, आध्यात्मिक जीवन प्रारंभ करना हो या फिर आपको विवाह करना हो। तो एक परिवर्तन के लिए आपको खुद पहल लेनी पड़ेगी। तो कई बार वो पहल कैसे लेनी, कैसे उसको लक्ष्य तक पहुंचा जाए, वो उनको समझ में नहीं आता लोगों को, इसलिए ये सबसे बड़ी समस्या है।
So bottom line, we cannot be indifferent in relationships.
तो मूलभूत रूप से हमें ये समझना होगा कि हम लोग उदासीन नहीं हो सकते अपने संबंधों में।
Any last questions? Okay.
Maharaj, my question is that you told some examples about people who are misusing their powers and positions, like Vain, like Hiranyakashipu and very other things. So what are the other examples in the Shastras which shows the ideal example how to use their powers?
King Ambarish.
So what we can practically learn from them, because as soon as post and power comes, something comes, because we have to deal with situations, we have to deal with people.
Yes.
So how to do it in that way, in a more Krishna conscious way?
Yeah. First of all, we have to recognize that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. And the way we treat our guru should be the way we treat people around us.
तो पहले तो हमें ये समझना पड़ेगा कि हर एक व्यक्ति भगवान का अंश है, और जैसे हम गुरु के साथ व्यवहार रखते हैं तो वैसे ही हमें अपने आसपास के लोगों के साथ वैसे ही व्यवहार रखना पड़ेगा.
Because without that conception, we have the tendency to think that we are there to be served.
तो हमारे अंदर ये, क्योंकि ऐसा क्यों करना है, क्योंकि हमारे अंदर ये भाव है कि मेरी सेवा होनी चाहिए.
In other words, we are given a position, we should have a proactive mindset.
तो इसलिए हमको कोई पद मिलता है तो हमें पहले से ही हमें जागरूक रहना चाहिए.
Proactive mindset means someone is around and I'm thinking, what's the best way to help this person? Not what's the best way to control that person.
तो जो पहले से कोई व्यक्ति जागरूक होगा तो क्या सोचेगा कि सामने कोई व्यक्ति है तो क्या सबसे अच्छा तरीका है कि मैं इसकी सेवा करूं, ना कि क्या सबसे अच्छा तरीका है इसको नियंत्रण में लाने का.
This person has some shortcoming. What is the best way to serve him, to make him better?
तो उनके पास कुछ कमी है तो सबसे अच्छा तरीका क्या हो सकता है इसकी सेवा करने का ताकि ये और ज़्यादा उन्नति करे.
So I'll give you an example of Bhakti Siddhanta. Bhakti Siddhanta went to one of his mats and he asked about one devotee, and then the president said, oh, he fell down and he blooped.
तो भक्ति सिद्धांत महाराज के जीवन से आता है. एक बार किसी मठ में गए अपने और वो किसी एक विशेष भक्त के बारे में पूछा कि वो कहाँ है, तो वहाँ के जो अध्यक्ष थे उन्होंने बोला कि उसका तो पतन हो गया, वो तो चला गया.
So Bhakti Siddhanta said, you should go and fetch him back.
तो भक्ति सिद्धांत महाराज ने बोला आप जाओ उसे लेके आओ.
You acted in a way that was not lovingly disposed, friendly disposed, and that is why he left.
तो आपने मित्रतापूर्वक व्यवहार नहीं किया तो इसी कारण से वो छोड़ के चला गया.
So yes, someone may have some challenges, but how are we working towards ameliorating, improving his condition?
तो
Someone may have some problems. We should be there to see how to help him to overcome that problem.
तो किसी के पास कोई समस्या हो सकती है, कोई परेशानी हो सकती है, तो हमें रहना चाहिए कि उस समस्याओं से कैसे उसको बाहर निकाल सकते हैं.
That is being proactive.
इसको कहते हैं पहले से ही जागरूक होना.
Yes, what's the question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the beautiful class. Just continuing or maybe relating to the question that Mataji asked. So sometimes in relationships what happens is that the other person is emotionally very turmoiled, but he or she is herself harming herself or himself just because of that emotional trauma again and again and again, and there's no need to it. So there when we try to control the situation somehow, because as you said, control is not good, but sometimes the control should be there. So with that controlling thing, just to bring the thing down, the person still is harming her own self, then that that indifference kind of feeling comes later on. So in the Gita also they say attachment and aversion both are condemned. But what happens is when you are trying and there is no response, then ultimately the other spouse feels like it's okay, let's leave it then. You focus your life, I focus on our own life. But then again the relationship is decaying. Yeah. So how to balance that seesaw actually?
Yeah. See, being in a relationship is a big responsibility. It's a shared, what is obtainable in terms of leadership, even in a relationship, in a family, is shared leadership model. Shared leadership model means I don't impose my ideas on my partner, which is the dominant thing in society. But in management science, because I'm actually part of management science because that's my field, and the way to maintain a very good relationship is shared decision making, shared leadership. So I can give you an example. I was to go to one country, and so I sent a message. I had a number of young people there. Some of them were still doing their high school or HSC or in college. So I sent a message that I was coming on such a date, and I got two messages from two young devotees. They were 17 years old each. One is a boy, one is a girl. They wrote to me separately that don't come. At that time you want to come. 17 years old. Okay, I could say, well, look, I'm a Swami, I'm a Guru, I'm a doctor of management science. Damn you. What the hell? Who are you to give me instructions? But no, because the love was there. I was available, I was able to adjust myself to suit their purpose. So I canceled the trip. Do I have a need to cancel the trip because of two young people? Of course, no. But because there is a strong loving relationship, I was adjustable to suit their purpose. In most cases, we are maladjusted. We are not able to adjust ourselves to suit the other person's purpose. And so, when there's a lingering of a particular problem, and it's just a common thing. If a problem is there with somebody, and I've seen this in my own life, I was having some health problems, and in the beginning, everybody was rushing. My parents were rushing here and there to deal with this and all these things. But then the problem was prolonging. And then everybody began to withdraw, So then it gave me a realization. That was when I realized that there is no love actually in this world. Before I met devotees, I understood that. Yeah, because I had a lived experience. I thought, because I was the best person in terms of my school career in the whole of the community. So family members, they respected me a lot. So when I had that health problem, everybody was running around. But then because the problem was protracting, people began to withdraw. So I thought, wow, there's no love in this world. As a teenager, I knew that several years before I met devotees. So I had that experience of, what's the term you used? What's the term she used? Yeah, I had that experience of indifference. And that made me to be disgusted with this world. That made me to be disgusted with this world. And so when eventually I met devotees, I never looked back. You know what? 16 years, 16 years, I was living in the temple as a brahmachari and never went home, never saw any member of my family. And people don't know why. Because I had the lived experience of indifference when you have a problem. Yeah. So, bottom line is that, yes, some problem may linger on, but that is a test, that is a litmus test for consistent love and support. That is, the problem lingers on. That is a litmus test for consistent love and support. So we can say, well, the problem lingers on, so let me be indifferent. We have to figure out ways to be emotionally supportive to that person. See, I can go on and on this because I had a lived experience. And so when I joined the temple, I didn't look back. So we have to see how we are adjusting ourselves. It's called maladjustment. Most people on the planet are highly maladjusted. They're not able to adjust themselves to suit other people's purpose. When the going is good, you have many, many friends. People come to say, "Oh, Vasudeva, he's my aunt's son. He's my uncle's son. He's my second cousin's son." Yeah. That's when the going is good. But when there's a challenge, people tend to shy away from you. But we have to adjust, as devotees, we have to adjust on this, because we are bound to have challenges in the material world. So if even the problem protracts, we should be available we should ask the person who is facing the problem the best ways to support them. Okay? That is one way, one of the routes to deal with those type of situations. At any time in our lives, we should not let people in our lives think that they are being neglected. Emotional neglect. It counts a lot, especially when people face challenges. It's a long thing, so I have to interpret this. Yeah. All right, I think we have to stop here. If you have further questions, you can message me, okay? And we have to stop here because I'm a little bit exhausted. I need to look for something to do to be able to regain my balance. I tried to sleep last night as much as possible, but I think the medicine I took was also too heavy. All right. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Swami Maharaj ki. So we are very thankful to Maharaj for sharing his deep insights in the Bhagavatam text, especially the character of Vain, which is very relevant to us, very practical to us, which we can apply and which we miss the most in our devotional practices. So once again we will thank His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Maharaj for giving his kind association to all of us by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Maharaj ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.
Is that you ask. Another thing you can deal with to maintain a very good relationship is that we ask our partner, when we are happy, the partner is also happy. We ask them, what are the things I'm doing in our relationship you think I should adjust to make it more loving oriented? I'm saying this because somebody had met me in Delhi some years ago, one young man from Pune. He told me, he was in love with Bhakti Vasudeva Swami. And all of a sudden he left the planet, so he was devastated. And he said, can you be my Siksha Guru? I said, why not? Yes, I can. And so we were talking back and forth, and then when he wanted to leave, he works for IT, an IT company. He travels a lot. He has his family, young family in Pune at the time. He had 2 kids. So he said he wanted to seek for some advice. I said, yes, tell me. So he sought for advice on how to improve the loving relationship in the family. I said, it's a very simple thing. I can give you an idea. He said, tell me. So I said, when you get back home, sit your wife down. When your wife is happy, sit her down and ask her, Mataji, so what are the things I'm doing in this family that you don't feel comfortable with, that you think that I should adjust myself to improve so that you can make a more loving family? And you know what he said? He said, Maharaj, if I ask my wife this, she's going to bring a long list. I said, but you are the one who came to seek for diagnosis and prescription. And now I'm giving you the prescription and you're complaining. But this is a good formula to apply in relationship. Spouses should ask their partners about the things they're doing that the partner doesn't feel comfortable with, or they feel that the partner should adjust to change to make this family more loving oriented. Yeah, you could adopt that also as a young man. Adopt that in your relationship, and you see how you'll be able to understand what your spouse is expecting from you and all this. Because without this type of meeting all this type of expectation, family people don't feel happy, and the marriage or relationship becomes like an official relationship.